So I feel like the response I receive of that video is something like quite explosive, contrasting, parallel to what I thought, oh, it would be. But I feel like there was a question and it made me do this with my journal. Yes, these are some affirmations and the YouTubers playlist I used to watch. So you all made me to do research on this topic. So here I have a lot of things to discuss. So today I'll be using my phone and some media outlets, some paragraphs and some things. So the title of this video is Why Good People Suffer. I guess so there is no definition, particular definition of this thing. If you literally ask me about why good people suffer, according to me, it can be like there is no such thing as sufferings because we have outcomes of what we do. So according to me, first of all, we understand what is suffering, what is the meaning of suffering. Now, suffering is something painful. Some people say we are suffering from this disease, that disease, something which is painful, and when you watch other people going through this suffering, you feel like why. Some people are so kind, some people are so empathic, some people feel so much emotions, and some people feel like that's a question, such a nice question to think, to know about what other people think about it. So there are a lot of things we can understand, a lot of perspectives. And before concluding the whole summary of whatever I've said, keep in mind whatever I think can be different. So we will understand from the perspective of young, a child, a kid. According to me, I have four things I've mentioned. According to a kid, suffering can be bullying, suffering can be mental health, suffering can be disease, suffering can be death. And if we move on to middle aged people, suffering can be a good job loss, or I can say that suffering can be financial situations. For elder people, suffering can be living alone, because if you know that elder people are like lack of movement, they face such kind of things in their life, they feel so alone because every people are so busy in their lives. So there are different definitions of how we want to call this thing suffering. So according to me, there is no answer, but we can understand and we can do some things to overcome, to feel like that, oh, we are not alone thinking about such kind of emotions. So now I can say that if there is a child, I have two things you have to understand. Imagine a child full of joy and kindness working on a complex wood puzzle. So puzzle mean anything, it can be type of a game or something. They are carefully placing the pieces, trying their best to create a beautiful picture. They are good child in the sense they are trying hard, being kind, and putting positive energy into the world. But then their sibling accidentally bumps the table, scattering some of the pieces. The child's work is disrupted, frustration arises, and they might even feel like giving up. They didn't do anything wrong. It was just an accident, a random event. This shows how suffering can be for good. People go through no fault of their reason. Life throws unexpected challenges like the bumped table. I can say that it is the most easiest thing I can like find for you to understand. Some people say bad things happens to just good people. Now tell me what is the mistake of the child? And you will be, if you have this opportunity to rectify it, what will you rectify? And what if I just turn this whole thing and I said the child is very bad, he used to beat people and he used to steal things, and you will not say anything about it this if I say and change the nature and attitude of the child. So first thing you have to think about or clear in your mind is suffering is just an outcome of what you are doing. And in my opinion, there is no such thing as suffering. It is just outcome of what you are doing. If you are doing something wrong, and the outcome will be wrong. If you are doing something nice, the outcome is in your hand, or sometimes it's not in your hand. So those people who says only good people suffer is not appropriate according to me, because I've seen a lot of paragraphs, and those words were so complex. So I feel like I should take another example. Picture a small bird with vibrant feathers and a beautiful song flying high above a lush landscape. It's a good bird, living in harmony with its surroundings, bringing joy with its melodies. Suddenly, a violent storm rolls in. The bird is tossed and turned by the wind, drenched by the rain, and forced to seek shelter. Seek shelter. The bird is tossed and turned by the wind, drenched by the rain, and forced to seek shelter. It might even lose some feathers or injure a wing. The bird didn't deserve this. The bird didn't deserve this. It was simply caught in the storm's path. It shows how suffering can be a natural part of our life. Even good, innocent creatures can experience hardship due to the force beyond their control. The storm target nothing. And you can relate this storm with the situations of your life. You start telling why I'm the only one suffering, why Lord, why me? And people always says why good people always have bad outcomes in their lives. You should think that sufferings are not a bad thing. Sufferings are some lessons we have to learn. Sufferings, when you are literally going through a hard time, and you can call that as suffering because it is painful, and then if you are watching your relatives going through something crucial, you call this thing as a suffering. You have to keep in mind these things are a part of our life. It is as same as taking oxygen. You cannot survive without oxygen. So there are a lot of things in our lives. Again, I'm saying there is no particular, I can say that, definition to define by only good people. But I feel like if I talk about um, bad people's, there are a lot of things. It is just us human, we just put the labels on like things that, oh, this thing is good, this thing is bad. And I can say that okay, I can say that suffering is a result of their choices, as I described. And I think I don't have any other things to tell you. I will close this book. It was just like factual things I searched for you, because this topic is complex. Now you will, and I will try my best to make you feel a little bit comfortable. Suppose you know a person living, and he did some bad deeds in his life, and now he is going through a hard time. I can assure you, you will not try to help this person. You will say, oh, whatever is happening to him, he deserved this because whatever he had done in his past. And now, if I say you know a person, or your friend or your relative, they are nice, they are gentle, they are polite, and they are going through a hard time, you are more likely to help that person. First thing is, when we have a lot of relation, when we create relation, the thread of the relation consists of different stages. You are connected to with a person, and throughout the like emotions you feel for them. So sometimes watching them going through a bad situation, you are just feeling what is valid actually. Speaking slowly doesn't mean I'm going to saying something sad or unhappy sort of things or sentence. But bear in mind, if you start to take things or take, my goodness, if you start to take things in a negative way, things will never solve. And if you start to let things take over you, you will never be able to achieve what you want to do. And those people who question these sufferings, those people who says good people only suffer, bad people, people who do illegal practices, they are still living in this world, why bad things are not happening, we human put these, this is my thinking about this thing, we human put these labels. Actually, they, if you literally think about the morals, people think that morals, ethics, these values, just because something is legal, something is right in the eye of justice, it is valid, it is moral, it is containing values. We do this, we human do this. So next time, if you feel like you are having overbearing emotions, and if you are feeling like you are going through hardships, and if you are feeling like someone is suffering, every person's minds work differently. For example, I told you, for a child a suffering can be bullying, for an adult a suffering can be financial loss. Well, sometimes it's not even our fault. I'm going to the main part of this topic. Some people will say, "Hey Anna, you talk shit about, and we don't understand a single word, and it is not justifying the title you put in this video." I feel like mm, there are some times when I can say that yes, it's not our fault, and we have to just face it. When I wake up in the morning, I feel a little bit of pain in my neck, and I was like, "Mom, my neck is hurting." And I told my mom next day, "Mom, my neck is in pain." And my mom think, "Oh, I maybe I slipped in the wrong direction." Then I told her, "Mom, my neck is in pain." Then she saw outside, we were just outside, me and my mom discussing about something. She saw three lumps in my neck. You won't believe, I feel like my whole world is just, I don't know what, how should I describe? You all guys asked why good people suffer. I'm telling you, this concept of, if you feel like, oh, we what about those people who don't do such kind of thing, and still they are having a lot of hardships and a lot of sufferings, and still they are going through the situations. I feel like some things are meant to come in your life to teach a lesson. And I told my mom, "What now?" She immediately took me to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Oh, these are not just lumps, you should do a test." And you won't believe, I am not asking for any sympathy, I'm just telling you, you all guys think that every single person is happy on this earth. No, some of the lessons we have to face in our life, some of the things we have to face in our life. The doctor told me to take a test, and I was like crying, because that was the first time I feel like, "Oh Anna, what you gonna do? You have exams, you have practicals, what you gonna do?" Every second person in your family is currently dealing with situation. Not even a single person is fine in your family right now. What you gonna do? And he is not here. What you gonna do? And I was crying, and I was crying. Now tell me, what's my fault? And I took some tests, and I'm still taking tests. I am doing ultrasounds, and I'm still here. And it happened like 10 to 10 days ago. Now tell me, if you call suffering is happening only with good people, or suffering is happening uh, and suffering is just the result, the outcomes of what we are doing. And if you have question like in your mind that, oh, maybe do we don't play a particular role, and we still getting these hardships, maybe Lord wants you to be stronger. Maybe you have to face this thing so that you can be strong. Not everyone is having a life like this. I'm still here, I thought I should tell you all, but then I decided I should not. It will impact me, it will impact myself, my life, and then you will start to see me as a different person. That's just how life is, my dear people. I think this is the most valuable video I create, because this video is the first ever video I have to think about before making. Like, not something like random. I cannot speak something random. I have to think about what I'm saying. And then I went to doctor, and the doctor took ultrasound test, and he told me don't take ayurvedic medicines. And the irony is I'm taking ayurvedic medicines. And now tell me, you all guys question about suffering. Now tell me, what is my fault in this thing, whatever is happening? And as I told you that suffering is the outcome, now tell me what I have done to receive this. Something must have happened which caused these lumps. And you won't believe I'm such a sensitive person. I cannot bear people. I have a lot of, you know uh, hectic reactions to blood. I cannot see blood, and they are taking blood from my body. Now tell me, this is easy. You have to be strong, you have to be brave, you have to be proud. And in the end, I'm just gonna say, even if you are dealing with hardships, try your best to think not why this thing is happening. Accept it, embrace it, rectify it, go through the process. And I think if you literally think about, after watching this video, what I am trying to explain, oh my goodness, you will understand that maybe at some point I'm speaking something right. That in the end, it's you. After all, it's you. Whatever you will do will be for you. Not even for your kids, not even for your family, just for you. And thank you to that person who literally asked me, because this is the first time I've ever feeling so bundle of emotions telling you all about things. Okay, so if you still feel like I've spoken something I should not, feel free to tell me, feel to rectify me, and go get a life.